Year 3 and 4's third Friday feedback show. Now, it's been a while since we've seen you all, so we thought we'd do a bit of an English special where we got to look at all of your fabulous writing from the past few weeks. So, without further ado, who'd like to go first?
I would like to go first.
Okay, Miss Holmes.
This is Amiga. Amiga, she's a bit like me. When it comes to doing the blue to review, she cannot see her own mistakes. I'm just the same. I know lots of people are. But this was fantastic because this is the work she did on Thursday. Then on the Friday, she'd actually really done a fantastic job at improving it. As well as finding mistakes, she also improved it. So if I read it, you can see what fantastic sentences she's done. This is only a little bit of it. After about an hour later, sneakily walking along the curly paths, I could see a dark green tree, which looked like a big warm oak tree, which was covered in green soft grass. The cool water splashed at me. I knew that it was a shark with very sharp teeth. After a flash, I heard the shudder of the shark, so I quickly ran away.
Wow.
Wow.
The expanded noun phrases in that are absolutely brilliant in both sections that you picked out there.
Yeah, and it's good. Those subordinate clauses at the beginning of the sentence there, after about a later, and then after a flash, gives you that idea of the times things are happening and how they're happening.
Lovely adverb there as well, with sneakily walked along the curly paths, telling us how she's done it, not just the fact that she's done it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I wish now I'd have shown you, I'd have typed this out to show you, to see how much she's improved it. And it is by adding all of those extra little bits. So she's really listened well over the last few weeks to what we've been doing about improving our work.
Yeah.
Really pleased with her.
It's such an important skill, isn't it? Editing and improving your work. It's so important, and it's great that she's been able to do that. Okay,
thanks, Miss Holmes. Who's next?
Right, I think I'll go next. I've had work quite often from Sabah during lockdown. I know they had lots of things going on, and the parents have been really supportive of school and Sabah. And I got through this wonderful story. And I always say to the children, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. However, Sabah sent me a 15-page story, and it's fantastic. It's like an epic. And at the beginning of it, she goes through her wardrobe and she finds this kind of veil hanging down. I anxiously removed the veil. My eyes were startled at what I saw. It was a completely different world. What a delight. As I stepped forward, I felt the fresh, crisp grass crunching under my feet, which was utterly reviving. In the distance, I saw high rocky mountains and rivers flowing beneath the emerald green trees, surrounding far and wide. I heard birds singing, chirping, tweeting, and humming in amusement. The sound of soothing, streaming rivers was heart-wrenching. The silent, soft breeze whispered softly in my ears.
Wow.
That description is incredible.
You know what I love is the one sentence where she says, what a delight, that short, sharp sentence that says such a lot in those 3 words. And she knows how to use it, and that's quite a hard task to do, is to know when you can use those short, sharp sentences. Really good.
It's got some beautiful sounds to it as well, with singing, chirping, tweeting, humming, that repetition there. And later with silent, soft breeze that whispered softly in her ears. The repetition of those S sounds is really lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
That feeling of tranquility, I think, from that. Yeah.
I really like how the birds are making all the sounds, singing, chirping, tweeting, and humming in amusement. It helps like build up that atmosphere, and it sounds really lovely, doesn't it?
Great. Okay, who's next?
I think it's my turn, isn't it? I am going to share Whale's work here. Whale has worked really hard since the beginning of lockdown, and he sent me loads of work from his story. I've just pulled out a small section and typed it out because the photo didn't come out so great. I'll read it out to you now. Bye, Fauna, Mr. Tumnus, I said. I saw a dusty old golden compass, and it showed the direction of the cupboard, so I knew where to go. I saw so many apples growing there, and I also spotted squirrel whales and lots of other creatures as I walked out of the forest. I went into the cupboard and went home. I was so surprised. My cup of tea was still hot. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I will tell everybody what I saw there. I really liked, this is just the very last bit of Wales story, and I really like how he brought it all to a nice, neat conclusion. And my favourite bit is the cup of tea being still hot at the end.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so all this story was going on. Meanwhile, back in reality, it went out really quickly, and his tea was still hot when he got back.
Yeah.
Well, when that shows the time, doesn't it? That the time had not moved. So that's a really good way, a clever way of doing that. Yeah, I love that.
Yes, it really shows how surreal and different this world that he's gone into is. As he says, it was the once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah, that's great.
I like how creative he's been as well with his different creatures. He's got squirrel whales here. So he's made up his own animals as well.
Yes, he mentioned some other creatures earlier in his story. It was a really interesting description of this fantasy world.
Okay, that's my turn now. Let's see Susanna's story here. She's really worked hard. And I'm afraid I'm not going to read all of it, as this will end up being a very long video. But I'll just read this final bit here. So they went round to the abandoned scary bridge, and still it gave me goosebumps. And finally we made it to the closest place next to the cupboard. We said goodbye in a tearful way, and Tom said, "You can come back with your mum if you like." "Of course I will. Bye, Tom," I said, tearfully. "Bye, Susanna," he said. I saw the cupboard and I missed my mum, so I ran to the cupboard as fast as I could, but I was tired after only 2 meters. Finally, I got to the cupboard and heard my mum shouting my name. I shouted, "Here I am." My mum squashed me tightly and I told her all about it. She was amazed. The end.
I really like how she's done a bit of show, not tell in that final paragraph where she says about how her mum squished her tightly. It shows how much her mum's missed her and loves her, but without sort of saying just, "My mum missed me and gave me a hug." It kind of really shows that emotion in a really clever way there.
Yeah.
And the punctuation in that direct speech is amazing. I don't think there's any mistakes at all, is there? I can't see any. So is it back to me?
I believe it is.
Right, I shall read it then. Over in the foggy hallway, a shadow came closer. With the small, quick steps, she came closer to me. It seemed like a girl, but something wasn't right. I could see her massive butterfly wings behind her back. Her beautiful, colourful wings were overlapping her body, but the rest of her body was human. She had silky, smooth black hair and dark brown eyes. On her fingers, I could see delicate, shiny rings. Slowly, the awkward-looking creature approached me. Her eyes were teary and her wings were shaking. Her neck was bleeding and looked like it had been scarred. "Hello, are you okay?" I asked. "No, I'm not," she said. "What happened?" I asked. I've left it there on purpose for you.
Yeah. I like that how you could see the girl, but something wasn't quite right. And then those butterfly wings came from behind her back. That was enough.
This lovely bit of show and tell in the middle with, we don't get told that she's feeling upset. We get shown that her eyes are teary and her wings are shaking and her neck is bleeding. And that's a really good skill to be able to show and not tell a feeling like that.
Yes, I particularly like how she's gone and described some really fine details of the character, like the shiny rings on her fingers, as well as kind of that broad picture of the shape of her body with the wings and things like that. She's also gone down into the lots of the little details as well, which is a really nice technique to use.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think Elise has done an amazing job here. I'm so pleased with it. I really am.
Back to you, Mr. Lees.
Right, I'll go for my second one. And Tasia sent me in an amazing story. Her wardrobe started to light up and she walked through her wardrobe and this is what she found. Flashing lights, colourful rides and busy people and the sound of sizzling food. The smoke was so foggy, it was hard to see at times. The music was beating loud. I could feel myself getting hyped up to go on every single ride. My stomach began to rumble, smelling sweet candy, toffee apples, burgers, pizza, and yuck, the smell of mushy peas and onions.
That is very clever, where she's used the mushy peas and the onions with the yuck.
Yes, yeah.
Nice contrast there. That's really clever.
Yeah, she's really engaged all of the senses in that description there, hasn't she?
Yeah. And what was really clever about this story is she meets up with a girl who's lost her parents, but they keep finding clues to find out where the parents might be. In the end, it turns out they're in an escape room. I thought, what a really creative idea for a story. As a reward for getting out of the escape room, they let them go on the rides together in the fun fair. And this is how it's described. Around and around, over and under, spinning out of control, a scare, a scream, and the spooks of the ghost train. Wow, those rides were amazing. It was time to say goodbye to Zoe and her parents. I was happy to return home as I missed my family, and I felt I'd been gone for some time. But I was a little sad that I was leaving this amazing, mysterious fun fair, and of course my new friend Zoe.
That first sentence is incredible. Those phrases, around and around, over and under, spinning out of control. You can feel that feeling of being on some sort of ride that's spinning. The scare, the scream, really lovely and really descriptive.
I'm jealous.
Do you want to go to that fun fair now, Miss Holmes?
Yes, definitely. Wow. Amazing.
Miss Usherwood, do you have anything to beat that?
Oh, well, it was very good, but I also have some excellent work here. Faith, I have to applaud her dedication over the last couple of weeks. She's worked so hard. And this is, again, just the last little bit of her story. She says, "Finally, that's done," I admitted, while I was walking. I found a pond of slime for a dragon. It was sleeping anyway. I tiptoed quietly around it, then ran into the cupboard. When I came to where I started, I was panting. I pushed my clothes away and I was back home. I heard my mum shouting my name. "I'm here," I shouted. I went to have a shower and have dinner. My sister was sleeping, so I quietly changed and went to bed.
I like the way the sleeping dragon, she tiptoed quietly around. You don't want to wake sleeping dragons.
You do not. Particularly after seeing what some of the other creatures earlier in her story got up to, taking, I believe it was the fairy dust and things like that. So you really don't want to wake up the dragon.
Yeah.
Presentation is excellent, isn't it? Look at that handwriting. Those joins are amazing. Really good.
She's always been outstanding.
Yeah.
She's really keeping it up at home as well. Really,
Yeah,
really.
you see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked some of the reporting verbs that she's used. Instead of saying said, at the start she says I admitted, and then later on I shouted. I thought were nice alternatives that give you more detail than just saying I said each time.
Here, when she talks about pushing her clothes away, you can see the effort. She's used words like panting to show just how much effort she's having to put in with getting all these clothes out of the way. Great word there. Okay, I've gone slightly off with these two because I've actually included some instructions here. These are amazing.
Yeah.
So this is Mohammed's. Now, Mohammed's dad emailed me the other week saying he was struggling a bit with writing. But the next week I received this through from him and it's great. So it's how to trap a hungry dragon. First, dig a huge hole so your hungry dragon can fit inside. Then find a big leafy tree and gather up all the leaves. When done, go back to the huge hole you dug up earlier. After that, put all the leaves to cover up the hole. Grab a tasty dragon food, place the food on the leaves, hide behind a big tree and wait for the dragon to come. Once the dragon is there, it will go for the food and fall straight through the leaves, heading straight down the hole. Finally, your hungry dragon is trapped and you can tie it in using a strong, thick rope. I just liked how this is really clear what the steps were. It can be quite difficult and it can run away with you, but he's really got it clear in his head.
Yeah, good. And he's got those time conjunctives in there, those time conjunctions. First, then, when it's done, after that. So you get that feeling of the order of the instructions. That's really important.
He's got some nice imperative verbs as well, like grab, dig, I can't spot anyone out, find, and things like that as well that are lovely.
Yeah.
And his commas spot on as well.
Well,
I'm going to be naughty as well because I've got another one that I wanted to show. And I know it's terrible of me, but this is Wateen's. These are Wateen's instructions. And we did instructions, I think, Mr. Elise, it was before Christmas, wasn't it, that we did instructions?
yeah, we did them in the classroom, yes.
Yeah, and Wateen has remembered absolutely everything we did in those. She's got them perfect here. She's got her first sentence of a rhetorical question. Do you have a dragon that's stealing all your food? Here's how to trap them. Her you will need meat, a hole, a pink blanket, and what to do. So you need to dig a wide and deep hole into the ground. Need to cover the hole with the pink blanket carefully. Finally and carefully put the meat in it, and there you'll have a trapped dragon. And she's got her final congratulations sentence, that you have trapped a dragon. And that's really, really good. Wateena's worked so hard there, and I can see that.
I love that last paragraph. That really does show you, doesn't it, that this is it, this is what you've done, congratulations, you've done it. So it really sums up the whole thing. So that's lovely.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's great that she's remembered the rhetorical question in the introduction, and all the pictures are there, what you need to do, and then that concluding paragraph at the end. Excellent.
Okay, are we ready for our 60-second shout-outs?
Jamal doing so well in his big read, especially showing his inference skills, which are amazing. Ryan, I have been sending him extra maths work, really difficult fraction extension work, which he is zooming through. And now I've just started to do the same with Moni and Amiga, who are also zooming through it. Well done, the three of you. The artwork from Elishba and Isa is absolutely amazing. I would have loved to have shown it today, but unfortunately not enough time. Isa, what can I say? The work she is doing at home, in homeschooling, is just as fantastic as when she's at school. And it always shows that enthusiasm in the work which is coming out even now, which is amazing. Also, has some great work from Mehek. Her comic strip is looking amazing. I can't wait to read her finished work. Amani, the theme work, and it's about Singapore. You will not believe how many pages of work she's given me. There's too many to read, I think, but all the stats are fantastic.
Okay, I'm going to stick with our stories because they've been amazing. And I want to, first of all, speak about Amar, who did this wonderful story about going through the cupboard and finding Candyland. It had marshmallow bushes and candy floss trees. And she found a fairy who was all upset because she'd lost her wand and it had been stolen by a scary witch in a spooky house. And guess who helped the fairy rescue her wand again? Yes, it was Amar. It was brilliant. I really loved the story. My second shout out is for Suya. All the way through lockdown, he's been saying so much work. He found himself through in a different world, a tree looking down on dinosaurs. A half man, half alien had lost its ship. Suya turned into James Bond. He had invisible drones that took out the lasers. And in the end, he rescued the ship for the alien, and all was well. I'm missing you loads with Steel. See you soon.
Okay, I've got several children who have done an amazing job with their stories, and I really wanted to show them today, but we just didn't have time. So Zara, absolutely amazing show, don't tell, all the way through your story, and beautiful description too. Lean, your determination to create this amazing fantasy land. I'm desperate to go to your Candyland, Lean. Beautiful writing. And Isabel, I've got to say a special mention for Isabel. She drew a fabulous picture of me that she sent in the other day. It was excellent. Well done for doing all of the theme tasks as well that you're doing, Isabel. I'm so impressed with all the work you're doing. Barra, I want to say a huge well done for your determination and your perseverance. I know sometimes things are tricky, but you're doing so much work, and I know that you're doing lots of extra work as well at home, and I'm really impressed with what I've seen, sorry. Saeed, well done for getting your work in every day. You're doing such a great job at home, keep it up. And finally, Faizan, absolutely loved reading your maths problems that you solved the other day. Fabulous.
First shout out for all of Madronio class. I've seen a real increase in the amount of work you're sending in this week, which is great to see because you're all working so hard. So keep that coming in, Madronio. Second shout out is for Susanna and Florence together. So they've basically done the same thing. They both emailed when they needed some help from me. Both the different things that they emailed. And that's really good because we know it can be quite tricky to admit that you need help, especially at the moment when we're not so close. But Susanna emailed to ask for help on a reflect question. She didn't get that back until the next day, but she went back and redid her reflect question, which showed just how determined she was to get it right. And finally, I've got nearly 10 seconds. Yazid did send me a story, but I didn't get a chance to show it, but it was hilarious. His speech was very funny, and he even turned it into a little book with staples. So well done, Yazid. And that's time up.
Really? Oh, that was great. And I agree, I've had so much work sent back in. It was a real shame that I couldn't show more of them all and see your story. They were so good, but other people sent in stories as well. But unfortunately, our Friday feedback would take forever if we showed them all. So, but well done everyone for sending them in.
Yeah, I've had brilliant work, and like you're saying, you just haven't got time to read them all. It's so difficult, so difficult.
I think it's really important to say a big thank you to all the parents as well for the support and the help that they're giving at home. I know that without that support, we wouldn't be getting the quality of writing that we are getting in at the minute. And so many parents are going above and beyond at the minute, and just well done to all of you as well.
I agree, yeah.
Absolutely. I think all that's left to say is keep that work coming in. We love seeing it, and just keep it going, guys. You're doing really, really well, every single one of you. So goodbye, everyone, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Bye.
Bye.